Hi, I'm Ava Bear.
And I'm Sabrina Lessons. Welcome to the November episode of Hempfield Happenings.
It's finally fall. The leaves are changing colors and I got to break out my new sweater collection.
To get into the fall spirit, we have some brand new seasonal stories to share, along with some interesting community events. Keep watching to look into the works of a local horror attraction.
Check out our furry friends that are always there to help.
And see how the district manages all things medical for its student body.
I love fall. I'm excited for warm apple cider, boots, and fall decorations, but not the weather.
Yeah, it is a little chilly. Let's leave and head back to the studio. It's definitely much warmer in here than it was out there. I don't need my hat, but I still get to wear my classic fall sweater. But I'm really missing the fall scenery.
Don't worry. We don't need leaves or pumpkins in the studio because our first story will get us back into the fall spirit. This month, East Petersburg Elementary School held their annual fun run. Paige Gruber tells us about the event and why it is important.
Yes, I'm so proud of you. Yes, good job.
Every school has their own way of fun. Here at East Pete Elementary School, their way of fun is by having a run.
For the past 6 years, East Petersburg Elementary School has been holding their annual fun run, which would not be possible without the parent-teacher organization, otherwise known as the PTO.
The fun run is something that we started about 6 years ago to help raise money for the PTO. And then the kids, we take one day and they go outside and they run for 20 minutes, and they have a blast doing it.
The day includes the run with multiple mascots, a DJ, and this year, a special BMX assembly.
We do have an assembly a couple weeks before the event and give them the incentives of if they reach 5,000, they're going to get a mixed match clothing day. If they reach 10,000, they're going to have a hallway dance party. If they reach 15,000, we have the duct tape to the wall. We also encouraged them this year that we were going to have the BMX bike assembly if we get close to 15,000, which we did.
While most just see the end product, donations, sponsors, and plenty of hard work go into making the day possible.
A lot of behind the scenes counting the money that comes in. We send little sneaker notes home that parents can write messages to encourage their kids today. So we have to divide all those out too. So things you don't think about. It's a great way for our family, friends, relatives to make a donation to the school. It's a great tax deduction donation and they're not having to, buy overpriced wrapping paper or almonds, and it supports the school.
And what do the kids themselves think of the fun run?
What's your favorite part about the run?
Running.
There's a lot of people supporting you, and there was 3 mascots out there, a shoe, a panther, and Sparky.
Good job, girls, good job.
The fun run was a success, not only for the PTO, but for the students as well. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Paige Gruber.
Stress can be unavoidable at times, leaving people of all ages overwhelmed from many different causes. Riley Wilton discovered a more furry way to relieve this burden.
Some of us remember having furry friends as children, but not everyone got that opportunity. K-Pets is exploring to give this opportunity to other people who never got that chance.
Along with providing a new experience to brighten up someone's day, K-Pets provides a wide range of services to help reach other people.
we're touching lives, warming hearts wherever we can help. I mean, with seniors to children with special needs, the whole in-between, at-risk teens, especially with social skills. It really helps with the social skills because kids will tend to talk more when the dog's around because they can look at the dog. They don't have to look at you face to face. But you can use them to apply to almost anything you want to get the point across. We were in an elementary school, and they met different dogs in different classrooms, and one kid wrote a story about her, and he said, the dog that was in my class was really, really different, but that's okay. So it was helping them see that not everybody's the same. And it just kind of brings you back out of the everyday, the TV, the phones, the everything. It just kind of makes you stop and get closer to nature and get closer to another species that's not going to argue with you. It's not going to judge you. You can just love them and they love you back.
I'm really fast because
Yes.
it's quite big.
K-Pets doesn't just spread love through cute faces. Each animal has their own unique personality, so each client can get that special connection. Take Rolla, for example. This fluffy Leon burger may look scary, but in reality, this sluggish guy just wants to cuddle and get a few treats. But K-Pets offers far more than just gentle giants.
This is Crosby. He's a boxer mix. So the place rescued Mom and didn't know that Mom was pregnant. So then they were getting rid of the puppies. We saw the K-Pets in action. We knew that he would be calm. He's a very calm dog. He's a lap dog, and he's like, when the kids were sick, he would be right up on them, or if they were sad, he'd be right there. Dogs can just sense.
Going up?
You got this.
There.
Kylie's a golden retriever. She's missing her front leg. She was dropped when she was 6 weeks old. It was shattered so badly they had to amputate it, and she ended up at the rescue, and that's where we got her. It definitely has the awe factor. I mean, I think she almost thinks her name is Aw, because everybody goes like that when they meet her. But yeah, it's definitely made a difference. People realize, she is different.
This is Barkley. I wasn't a dog person, but when I met him, it was love at first sight. I fell in love with the breed so much, we actually adopted one from a rescue group. And they're normally not social dogs. They're very loyal to their family, which means they can be protective. He's very outgoing and social. People just kept saying he'd be a great therapy dog. Is he a therapy dog? So that's how we got involved in K-Pets, because he loves the attention. He actually was a perfect fit because he is social and outgoing, and he was used to being, meeting 40 people at an outing.
A variety of words could be used to describe the pets, but don't take it from me. What's one word you would use to describe how you felt?
Good. Good.
Good?
Good.
Good. K-Pets is on a mission to help their community and spread joy, and they're doing so one furry step at a time.
From Hempfield Happenings, I'm Riley Wilton. Vaccines, vision, and hearing checks are all aspects of student health that the school keeps track of through health screenings. Brian went to see what it's all about.
Health screenings are held here in the Performing Arts Center at Hempfield High School. I got a chance to talk to Jennifer Norton about what is their purpose.
Health screenings are important because it helps us screen students for indicators of early problems. So if they're having vision changes, hearing changes, or growth problems, that we can intervene early. They are mandated by the state, and in most states in our country do have a mandate for health screenings for students. Every grade has to participate in health screenings to a degree. The hearing screenings are only for kindergartners, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 7th grade, and 11th grade. We only check those at intervals. And the scoliosis screenings for posture are just done during 6th and 7th grade, which is the period where most kids are doing a lot of growing, and that's likely to be a problem.
Also held at the health screenings are height and weight and a vision test. Jennifer Norton stated that most immunizations are done during a child's infancy. Around the age of 5 is when a child gets something called a primary series. Any additional immunizations must be done before the entrance of 7th grade to 12th. Vicki Martin explains the purpose of getting a vaccination.
Vaccinations target certain diseases, certain viruses, and that are deadly. So they've identified quite a number of them that just getting a shot or an immunization will prevent you from dying. So that's why these immunities are important.
Health screenings contribute to the overall well-being of the student body. TEPVL. And for Henfield Happenings, I'm Brian Oran.
Field of Screams is a famous haunted horror attraction here in Hempfield. Many students at Hempfield High School volunteer at Field of Screams every fall. Xander Hughes found answers to why these students volunteer.
On the weekend, most students enjoy the days off. That's not what some students at Hempfield like to do. They get a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to volunteer at a famous haunted attraction, Field of Screams. Jim Schoaf is one of the co-owners at Field of Screams.
Field of Screams is an entire entertainment park. It's a haunted atmosphere. What we're trying to do is create an area where people can come, experience monsters like what's going on behind me, and just have a good time. So we want people to come, enjoy themselves. We want them to laugh, cry, scream, maybe pee their pants. I don't know. Just have a great time, be scared, in a safe environment.
Most volunteers at Field of Screams say it is a lot of fun. Jordan Ongst may very well have the best time at Field of Screams.
I volunteer at Field of Screams because it's a fun place to get out here, scare people, and hang out with your friends. I'm a chainsaw actor in the Frightmare Asylum, so pretty much people come into my room, get them with my chainsaw, and then I chase them out of the building.
Many volunteers don't just do it for the fun of scaring people. They do it for more heartfelt reasons.
The favorite part about working here is it's an escape from reality. You get to come here, make your whole new persona. You get to be whoever you want to be. There's no judgment. It's a lot of fun.
The managers here are great. They all take care of you. We're one big family. We do everything together. It's great.
Like if you have a problem, even if it's not field related, they still like make sure that you're mentally okay, and like we're never alone in anything here.
Jim Schoaf plays a great deal in making Field of Screams a family-like environment.
We're getting into our crazy season at Field of Screams, meaning that it's like the super busy nights. Last night was one of our biggest nights of the season. Actually, it was almost a record night of all time from Field of Screams. Our last hayride got in at 2 in the morning. So what I did, along with a couple other staff members down in our effects building, we surprised the whole staff. They came in and I was cooking eggs, pancakes, chocolate chip pancakes, sausage. We had a full breakfast menu. So they came in to take their costumes off and to check out. And there was like the smell of syrup and pancakes.
All in all, Field of Screams is a very scary place for those who dare to enter. On the other hand, the volunteers and staff behind the scenes have one of the best experiences of their lives. From Hempfield Happenings, I'm Xander Hughes.
I believe that I'm most impressed by the creativity it takes to transform the actors and actresses with makeup.
Makeup is one of the many art forms I will never be able to master. I can truly respect how much work goes into creating art, and I think some of the younger students will as well, with the subject of our next story.
A local artist will be visiting the students of Landisville Intermediate Center over the next few months to paint murals. Hannah Morris elaborates on what life lessons the students will learn from this project.
Here at Landisville Intermediate Center, students are collaborating to paint murals as well as learn the importance of teamwork. Over the next few months, local artist Lauren Spangler-Jones will be working with the students to create these murals.
So being creative is simply using our imagination.
I'm going to be working with the 4th, 5th, and 6th graders on the art of creative collaboration. So what does that mean? Well, I think especially for that age in structured art classes in the public school system, they're very much focused on individual work. And as important as all of that is, I think it's just as important to learn to work together.
Lauren is excited not only to make one large collaborative piece of work with each grade, but to have each student's individual talent shine as well.
This is another reason why I love art so much, because we can take it and use it as a vehicle for broader, greater life lessons that can then be applied for the rest of our time on this planet.
After almost a year of preparing for this project with art educator Elizabeth Blackledge, Lauren made her first appearance of many at Landisville Intermediate Center.
I met Lauren back in 2016, and since then I've been really
admiring her work ethic, not only doing her own personal artwork, but also how involved she gets with the community and doing work with nonprofits.
Ms. Blackledge is excited to have Lauren work on creative collaboration with each grade level and create murals that will be shown in the school's art show.
I'm just excited to see how the kids do and work together, and there'll be challenges throughout this process, but intentionally so, because it's in those challenges when we're faced with them that we learn those adaptability and flexibility and, the creative conflict resolution and all those other big buzzwords.
Not only will students be working together to create art, but they will learn lifelong lessons as well. From Hempfield Happenings, I'm Hannah Morris.
Cancer is a scary disease and one of the top causes of death for children. But how can we change this statistic and save the lives of many kids? Sarah Vanderlaan explores how recent legislation is doing just that.
Cancer is a disease that doesn't take age into account. Countless families suffer when a child is diagnosed. With each patient, diagnosis may differ, making it difficult to find a cure for each form. Today, I'm standing in front of Pennsylvania's Capitol, where a bill is in the process of being passed. In the United States, 43 kids are diagnosed each day. In 2019, the National Cancer Institute received $5.74 billion in funding. Despite the large number, only 4% is given to research for pediatric cancer.
I'm the mom of a stage 4 kidney cancer survivor. She was diagnosed in March 2013. So when I approached the door to her room, I opened it and I was kind of shocked that the doctor's sitting on her bed with her. It was at least 10 times that I had to ask that doctor to repeat himself. It was like the room started spinning and I just kept asking him to repeat himself. And it finally sunk in.
Mamas Against Cancer is a podcast with the purpose of spreading awareness. Sarah says the idea came to her late at night and immediately called a friend who worked for a local studio. The podcast is broadcasted on Facebook every Wednesday night, covering various topics related to cancer.
If I can prevent anyone else from going through this out, it's worth it.
Even though she was spreading awareness, Sarah knew a podcast wasn't going to solve all these problems.
Yeah, if no one else is going to step up and do it, we have to.
Sarah and her daughter appeared at Pennsylvania's Capitol to testify a bill that was related to pediatric cancer.
My name is Noelle Weinhold, and my battle with cancer started on Tuesday, March 2013, when I was just 4 years old.
After having multiple x-rays and lab work, the doctors discovered Noelle had a mass in her left kidney and 8 mets in her lungs. Noelle received radiation for 8 days and a total left nephrectomy.
My treatment ended September 4th, 2013, but my fight has never ended. I had chronic appendicitis that was caused by radiation damage, a bowel, bladder, hearing, and vision neuropathy. I just was in the hospital for 4 days due to damage for chemo and radiation. I was unable to walk due to nerve pain.
In over 3 decades, over 200 new treatments were approved for adults with cancer. In the same amount of time, only 3 new treatments were developed for children. Due to being 5 to 7 years behind in medicine, Noelle was treated with chemotherapy as old as her grandparents.
I'm not only here to speak for myself, I'm here to speak for all my fellow fighters and those who have gained their angel wings. My best friend Kira and I met while in clinic at Hershey. We were just 4 years old when she got diagnosed with BCL ALL leukemia. We learned that Kira had relapsed for the 4th time. Her doctors were losing hope. I watched as my best friend lost the ability to walk, talk, and even smile. We couldn't play jokes on our nurses anymore. Kira couldn't cruise the halls on our green tractor.
Kira passed away on December 1st, 2018. Even though she's passed, she's still counted in the cured statistic because she lived 5 years after her date of diagnosis.
At 10 years old, I got my best friend's ashes. That is how my best friend came back to me and how she sits next to me today.
Getting the legislation through, the whole reason for the podcast was just to be able to make sure that we're able to make sure that our families are taken care of. They're loved, they feel the support, they have that army behind them. I always tell everyone, we became family the day our kids were diagnosed.
Senate Bill 47 would provide a tax credit for pediatric cancer, increasing the budget for the next 10 years.
As of October 23rd, the bill was passed in the Senate, and they are one step closer to receiving more funding. From Hempfield Happenings, I'm Sarah Vanderlaan.
At the middle schools, Mrs. Allen was known as an instructional technology specialist, but recently she was promoted to a Microsoft Innovative Educator. Brian Horan explores what this new title means to Mrs. Allen.
What is an MIE? Well, I can answer that for you. It is a Microsoft Innovative Educator. Now you're still probably wondering, well, what do they do? I went to Centerville Middle School to talk to Mrs. Allen about her position as an MIE. But first, I talked to Mr. Wagner about his position here at Hempfield High School.
I am the Instructional Technology Specialist, which is just a fancy way of saying that I help people learn to use technology in effective ways.
Mr. Wagner and Mrs. Allen have the same position, but Mrs. Allen does some things different than he does.
At the beginning of the school year, a lot of my responsibilities are making sure that everybody has the equipment that they need. And then after that, I like to focus on helping teachers and the students meet their learning goals through the use of technology.
Mrs. Allen explained what an MIE is and what they do.
Microsoft's teacher education community, they have a variety of different courses that you can take, and as you accumulate points, you can become a Microsoft Innovative Educator. There are 575 of us throughout the United States, and we attend monthly meetings where we present to the other members. We're charged with testing out different Microsoft products, giving feedback to Microsoft on developing projects, attending trainings ourselves. I received notification this summer, actually the middle of August, right before school started, that I had been accepted and selected.
According to Mrs. Allen, this is a very prestigious honor to her. Why? Because there's a selected few here in the United States that get this title. Congratulations from all of us at Hempfield, Mrs. Allen. And for Hempfield Happenings, I'm Brian Horan.
School lunches may seem like a mundane occurrence, but for 1 week, Hempfield makes this everyday event look different and exciting. Autumn Rhodes took a closer look at National School Lunch Week at Hempfield.
Every year, National School Lunch Week takes place at schools nationwide, and Hempfield definitely serves up some fun to make this week memorable.
Lunch is a large aspect of every school day, and National School Lunch Week takes place October 12th to the 16th to promote school lunches here at Hempfield.
We want, and our theme this year is what's your music list or what's your playlist. So there's going to be some social media coming out, there's going to be some Twitter. We're hoping that some of the high schoolers or the kids within the district will come and let us know what their favorite meals are, because that actually helps us to go back to say to our director, hey look, this is a favorite meal, let's try to run this and see what we can do.
During this week, there are pretty sweet guests, such as the superintendents, principals, and the local senator.
Well, fortunately, the folks here at Hempfield reached out to me a number of weeks ago and invited me to come in and see the work that the staff does here to provide a high-quality lunch for students. And so I've been invited here today to see lunch, to be able to help serve the meal today, and interact with students and ask them about their experience here and their experience with the food service here, and interact with the staff. So I've enjoyed having the opportunity to do that.
The entire week was successful, with popular food and exciting guests, thanks to hard-working staff.
Students can definitely spice up their plate during National School Lunch Week. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Autumn Rhodes.
Recently, teens have picked up a new harmful habit causing an increase in nicotine consumption through vaping. Grace Monis discovered more about the rising issue.
Out with the cigarettes, in with the vapes. There's a new vaping epidemic sweeping the nation. I spoke to multiple individuals on the topic. When people hear the word vaping, everyone thinks of something different. Lancaster General Hospital's Dr. Mehta explains what vaping is in his own words.
Well, vaping is basically alternative form of smoking, where they are using heated oils and to get the nicotine effect or cannabis effect without actually smoking a cigarette or a joint.
Despite the many consequences of vaping, Lancaster General Hospital has a variety of recovery options.
A few of them ended up in the ICU, requiring a mechanical ventilator and more aggressive therapy. I think a couple needed a bronchoscopy, which is a camera down into the lungs for biopsy and sampling. A lot of them just needed a long time to improve, a week or two with steroids, antibiotics, and time to get better. So it's not a quick resolution.
There are many consequences to vaping, but not all are about your health. Officer Marks, Hempfield High School's resource officer, explains what happens if a student is found with a vape.
Sir, if I personally find somebody vaping on school property, I'm not going to arrest them, but I will turn them over to the principals because it's currently not a violation of Pennsylvania law, but school policy.
Hempfield High School had an assembly about vaping on October 22nd. Dr. Melissa Thompson came and educated the students on the dangers of vaping.
Again, the bottom line is there are no safe vaping devices, and any product that you put in there has potential for harm.
Dr. Mehta and Dr. Thompson have similar views on vaping.
Vaping, smoking anything is not good for you. There's levels of harm and bad. Cigarette smoking would probably be the worst. Vaping is better than a cigarette, but it's not safe.
Just in case you missed it, there is no safe vaping device. No vaping device is approved by the FDA to use safely or to replace cigarettes. It has not been a researched way to safely get off of any other nicotine products.
The rising vape epidemic is taking over many lives, but there are more and more resources to help every day. From Hempfield Happenings, I'm Grace Monis.
That's all for this month.
We hope you enjoyed our fall episode.
This show would not be possible without hours and hours of hard work from our classmates.
If you want to see more, find us on our YouTube channel for Hempfield Happenings, and tune in next month where student journalist Katie Yoder explores the international success of one of Hempfield's own students. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Ava Baer.
And I'm Sabrina Lessons.